Okay, well, I suggest you put on your favorite music and then follow this along if you feel like doing some great exercises that open up your spine, hips, and shoulders. I like to start out with opening up my feet, trying to get into all of the toes and edges and pieces, places where you don't normally put weight when you're standing. I found that the more that you learn to put your weight into all of the parts of your foot, the more that all of your other joints begin to release and open up, and your different parts of your pain, either it's in your back or shoulders or hips or knees or ankles, they all start to subside. So here I am trying to put weight in my feet, but also move my hips, start to open up the spine and the back. Okay, I have my feet apart. You bring your hands behind you and stretch. Pull your hands up and stretch while rotating your neck. Lift from all the parts of your feet and start to change weight. There's a lot of movement in these, so you find whatever works for you at your own pace, at your own place, whatever you feel fits. So then I start to twist and look to the right with my hands raised. Bringing my elbow down, I twist while holding the hands together, letting your left arm point to the sky, and then you switch and go the other direction. I felt a lot of pops here, so this should start to open up everything. Bring your arms down, put them behind you. Move your weight forward and stretch into your hips, lifting your arms above your head, letting them fall behind. And rotate and twist. Bend your knee as necessary. We're all at different levels, different flexibility. I lift up. I rotate my neck and my shoulders even more to the outside over your left, and then rotate back over to your right, letting your head fall wherever is comfortable. And stretch. Looking over your right shoulder, raise your arms above your head and stretch and twist back towards over your left. And look over your left shoulder comfortably. Don't try to go outside of what is comfortable. Lower your hands and move your shoulders side to side, opening up your hips, putting your hands on your hips. Press weight into different parts, rotating from your left hip to your right hip, bending your knees as necessary, whatever feels right. Raising the hands over your head, clasping together and pulling your right elbow down. You lean back and twist back over to the left. Changing your gaze. Lean and twist. Switch elbows, bringing your left elbow down and your right elbow up, hands clasped together, and twist back over to your right. Look over to your right shoulder, bringing your hands down, clasping at your back, twist back over to your left, changing your gaze from shoulder to shoulder. Raise your hands over your head and twist back over to the right. Looking over your right shoulder and just letting your shoulders relax above you. Lowering the right hand, keeping your left hand up, twist from your wrist, having your palm face different directions than it was before. Looking back over to your left. Bringing your left arm down and twisting it around, opening up that left shoulder. Make sure you twist from your fingertips, moving and bending them, opening them up as well as the rest of your spine. As we twist back over to the right with the right arm up and the left arm down. Looking over your right shoulder and leaning, bringing your arms down and moving them freely across back to center. Bringing them out above, back behind your head. Lean back and slowly move your spine, opening it up while coming forward into a forward fold with your feet apart. Bringing your hands in front of you and rotating your neck, coming down into a squat and rotating into your hips. Some of you might find this difficult, some may not. Just do whatever you can do. Rotating out. My right hip is very locked still, so I have to take these very slowly. And you're coming down as slow as you can go while still rotating into the hips. Your goal is to eventually get to the floor without caving your spine, trying to keep as straight of a spine as you can until you bring your seat bones to the ground, letting your feet slide out to wherever they're comfortable with your arms raised above you. Move your knees back and forth. Raising your hands. This is very uncomfortable for me, so I'm rotating my hands to find a place that is more comfortable. Slowly bringing your hands back down on the back side of your back, on your shoulder blades. Continue to rotate the knees and your spine and whatever you need to make this comfortable. While falling forward, opening up and lifting. Bring your chin and gaze to the ceiling. And bring your hands behind you. Clasping and pulling. Lift them up above and let your spine fall forward, bringing your head to the ground and rotating your hands from side to side. Slowly rock your hips down and try to bring your knees closer to the ground with your hands still behind you, and then bring your hands forward, continuing to rock. Bring the seat bones closer to the ground. Rock your hands up and then bring them on the back side of your shoulders while starting to lift up. Rotate your neck, opening your hands from side to side. And we start to lean forward, leaving your hands to the side and rocking into each seat bone, slowly trying to fall forward. This is as far as I can go. If you can go more, go. If you can go less, stop where it's comfortable. Lift your left elbow up to the ceiling. And now twist and lift your right elbow up to the ceiling while still being as forward as possible. Lift back up. Hands on your knees. Rotate your feet. Bring your hands behind you. Rotate your feet and your toes. Start to rock in the shoulder blades. We're going to rock back and forth, slowly bringing the spine to the ground. But we're going to go very slowly, making sure that our seat bones are touching the ground all the way back as we go down. bending the elbows, bringing the hands slowly back behind you. Moving the shoulder blades, making room for your spine to start to calm down and come to the ground. Come to your elbows, still rocking back and forth. Moving your ankles, rocking your shoulders and dust to the ground. Bringing your arms over your head, relaxing your head. Rotate your wrists and let your arms fall comfortably in front of you or up above your head. And relax. Let your spine soften and let all of the pieces just melt to the floor. Taking in deep breaths and releases. Quieting the mind. Bring your shoulders or hands below till they're comfortably by your side and let them relax wherever is comfortable for you. Let your neck relax. Let the pieces that feel weird just release. Deep breaths. Deep breath in. Bringing your hands to your hips and pushing at your hips. Deep breath out. Let your hands pull your hips away from you, releasing tension at the back of your spine. Let it fill new space. Rotate slightly. Bring your feet in to being straight if they were not before. And keep pressing into your hip bones, finding new spaces for your spine to settle. Very lightly. Very comfortably. Find what works for you. Deep breaths. Going to rotate the right knee twice and go the opposite direction. It is important to do both ways so that both sides are released. Rotate your ankle and bring that foot to the ground. Rotate the other ankle and rotate the knee on your left side, or whichever knee you did not use. And go the opposite direction. Whatever pace feels best for you. Rotate your left ankle both ways and bring your foot to the ground. Now I'm moving my toes and bringing my knees together. Lifting up, hug your knees to your chest and relax, rocking side to side, finding whatever feels best for you, releasing the spine. I bring one knee down and around in a circle. Go the other direction. And switch legs in a circle and go the other direction. You'll find that one hip might be tighter than another. Grab your feet, bring them up into a baby pose, I believe. Child's pose. No, happy baby. Rocking side to side. You can tell this is my first video. Bring your feet together while still holding onto the ankles, letting your knees go wherever is comfortable. Slowly let your feet fall closer to the ground, rocking in your spine. Take it slow. Go as far as possible until you have to release and hold onto your thigh. Keep moving your ankles and your toes, opening whatever area might have restriction. You're slowly trying to get to the ground. Now relax and release the hands and bring them back over your head. Lift your knees. Bring your feet out and rotate one knee the other direction. Now switch knees. Letting your other foot press against the ground. Rotate directions. Bring your foot to the ground. Relax. Lift your hips and let them relax. Lift your right leg. Rotate your ankles. Switch ankles. Keep rotating and moving. Let your knees go from side to side. Let one leg come down. Raise it up. Rotate the ankle. Rotate the hip. Switch directions while rotating the ankle. Switch legs. Let your left hip open by dropping you and making a circle with your feet. Make sure you go both directions. You may keep your legs bent. Just rotate the hips. And now lift the hips up above you, bringing your feet up. I like to stand on my toes. Bring my hands below to start to get onto the shoulder blades. Press your hands away from you and lift. Finding movement by dropping your knees to wherever is comfortable. And slowly let your spine and hips come to the ground and raise them back up. Bring your heels down. And now let your hips drop to the floor. Raise your hips again. Your hands are still clasped behind you. You may bring them to the floor if that's more comfortable. Lift through the toes, bring the heels back down, let go of your hands, and bring your hips to the ground. Move your shoulder blades, let your neck find a comfortable place to release, and just relax. Let your spine find new parts of the ground. If there's something that is uncomfortable, then try to wiggle it. I'm wiggling my hips, my tailbone as much as I can. Now lift up, bringing your hands behind you. Come up to seated pose, letting your toes touch. Now rotate your neck, letting your head fall slowly around each side. So you're opening up that very tip part of your spine. Switch directions. Take your time. Find new parts of your neck that have been holding tension that need to release. Bring your hands to a clasp behind you and fall forward, rotating your neck. Switch directions. Let your hands rest on your lower back while still rotating the neck. Release to the ground or wherever is closest. I'm still rotating my neck because my neck is very tight. Make sure you rotate in both directions. If it's difficult to move your neck, you can think of moving your jaw. Lift and rock side to side, coming up. Hands pressed on your lower back. elbows out. Lift up through the top of your shoulders, top of your head, bringing your hands forward, bringing your feet and ankles to cross and holding your knees together. Rotate your neck. Let your feet release. Switch directions, rotating your head to the other side. Now I look over the left shoulder, letting my head drop, stretching the shoulder. And switch sides, looking over my right shoulder, letting my head drop, stretching the right shoulder and neck. Come back to center. Wiggle your seat bones, opening that lower part of your spine. Wiggle my shoulder blades, opening up my neck more. Release, letting your feet fall forward and your hands come out to you, the sides lifted. Rotate through the hips, through the shoulders, trying to keep a straight open spine. Breathing deeply. Rotate to the left, letting your hands fall where are comfortable. And switch sides, keeping your hands out but comfortable. Now we're going to do a weird crisscross with your arms, letting the shoulders open and switching directions. So if you were cutting under, cut out, letting them sway around you and switching directions. The more you do this, the more natural it'll feel. We're just rotating the shoulders, letting them open, raising the hands above, clasping with the palms facing out, tilt to the right, then tilt to the left. Make sure your seat bones are still touching the ground, stretching your spine and your neck. Release your hands, bring them to the front, and bow, thanking yourself for this time and this routine. Now be careful, when you start to stand up, do not bend your spine and curve and cave in. Try to keep your spine straight, lifting. I'll show you how I do it. I roll onto my shins. Open up my right hip because that's the one with the problems. Coming up to the toes, opening up the other hip, and then standing.